Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we are going to be keeping it simple with a couple of different focuses for today's video. So one is going to be some color choices. We are sticking with pink, black, and white. Of course, you can substitute that pink in for any other color. That could be turquoise, blue, greens, oranges, browns, more autumnal, something like that. But today we are going for a pink, black, and white look, and we are keeping this simple. Number two, masking. Masking is a really fun technique that you can create some amazing looks with. And this includes just using strips. So I'm going to be using the Gina Masking Magic strips today. By all means, you can go ahead and use any masking paper, any low-tack tape that you have. Anything should work here. But the Gina gives me the most crisp results no matter what I put on top. That's sort of no matter the, the media that I put on, whether it be like texture paste or something with a bit more moisture in it. These Gina strips or masking sheets are going to hold up beautifully and give you those clean, crisp results that you want when you are masking. Now, just for information's sake, I'm using Passionate Pink and Light Carnation as my two pink choices. Now, you will see that these pretty much end up becoming not one color, but not far off it, because I don't have a brush for each one of my inks. I don't take bad care, but I don't take great care to make sure that there are separate brushes or that I use one for dark and lights. Sometimes those lines get a little blurred against my, how hard I try, but that's okay. And so this is sort of what happens here. Honestly, I think I used for the Light Carnation, the brush that I've used previously was probably used for a darker color. And so there's not a whole lot of variation here, but I still think you can see some variation. And by no means is there smooth blending. This is really just, getting a good amount of ink down there. I have got the Delicate Blossoms background stamp here. Now, you absolutely don't need this background stamp. Anyone is going to do the trick. And you can see that I have used a couple of different sizes of the masking strips there, just for a little bit of added interest. I am going to pop this in my stamping platform just because it's a larger stamp, and at this point, using the masking strips and things, I want to make sure that this technique works. So if I've got it, then I may as well use it. But if you have got a smaller stamp and you could just, stamp multiple times and stamp all over this to create your own background stamp. Like if you have a floral stamp and a foliage stamp, then by all means, just stamp them individually. There is nothing here that says this needs to be a background stamp. I just have this one and I'm really enjoying using it, so we may as well make the most of it. It also has some beautiful sentiments down the bottom, which helps me out as well. Feels like a bit of a 2-for-1 where it's got the whole background plus the sentiments, so that's helpful. Anyhow, this looks stunning as is, but of course we have to peel off this masking and look at these crisp lines. This is, as I keep saying, one of the most important features for me of a good masking tape. And so this one fits the criteria, absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I quite like the look when the masking tape was on there, but we can't have it always. We use the masking tape, and so that might just have to be for another feature. So you can kind of make out the different pinks there for sure. And if you wanted to be more specific, you could absolutely, color in different areas where if you knew where your flowers were going to be placed or your background stamp was, then you could make it more specific to the colors. That would be fun too. I did turn this one upside down to trim off the excess just because we have stamped with a pigment ink and I have not heat set this. So, for me, sometimes that can just lead to ink going everywhere, frankly, ink smudges. So I'm trying really hard at this point. If you're not sure, then by all means, go ahead and heat set this or use some clear embossing powder over top to seal in that beautiful black pigment ink. I also think this would really look really nice with like a tone on tone, using that passionate pink as as stamping instead of the black. That could look really nice as part of the background, but I wanted to include the black because I knew I would have a black matting layer here, which is just a hair bigger than what we've cut the pink one down to, the card front down to. And then I'm going to use this big, beautiful happy birthday to you. But here's the thing. I want to adjust this, and I purchased this one knowing that this was one of the things I wanted to do with this. This is it's quite an old die at this point. It was released a long, long time ago, but you know, everything is still good to go. And so these are some options for us, and I do like this happy birthday to you. I've cut one out in black, one out in white. Have a play around, see what you like. As for layering, which one you like and which one stands out, helps it stand out a little more. Often a shadow layer is going to really help it stand out from a busy background, which is pretty much what we've created. You can see the white here just fades into the background a little too much. But as I said, make these your own and make them work for you. So I'm going to cut off the to you from the bottom. I'm just imagining what roughly where the letters go and how they would have been, you know, otherwise, to make it look complete and like you haven't cut something off the bottom here. The main thing is that I just do the same to both the black cutout and the white cutout so that they look the same, and I can layer them up to become that shadow. So no one would even know that this was actually a different die and that we've trimmed it down. And then of course, it just makes it more versatile, and we can use it and it not look identical every single time. So that's one of those things that I looked out for when I'm purchasing a large die like this. It's helpful. And then here I'm going to pop the black one on top. I feel like this popped out more, and the background is so bold and bright that it doesn't bother me having the happy birthday in like such a dark color. You know, which otherwise might be, you know, if you wanted something really bright and beautiful, you could do it in the pink. You could actually add a pink on top of this if you wanted to, but I think the black looks just fine. I like this, and I think it stands out against that busy background we've created. The world's your oyster at this point. I mean, you could add on gems, you could add on sparkles, you could add on die cuts out of glitter cardstock, iridescent cardstock, all the fun things, but I'm keeping this fairly simple. I am going to do a few little enamel dots here and there. I just think that's going to add to it. You could do some faux splatter, you could do some real splatter, some different options, but this card was just a quick, easy, fun one to make. The power of masking and 3 simple colors, I guess, if you want to. I know that some people count the black and the white as neutrals and not specifically a color, but you know, really keeping it simple and working with a limited amount of resources often creates really fun and good inspiration for me to create beautiful cards. So I hope that you've enjoyed this one. As usual, there will be links to everything down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.